Okay, team. Good morning. Good morning. God bless. It's a new day ahead of us. So excited to be kicking it with you all this morning. Um, we are doing some different things today. We are on YouTube Live. So, for those of you who are normally used to watching me on Facebook, you can also find me on YouTube Live today. I'm going to share um, on Facebook. I'm also going to share the link from my Facebook page as well. So you can catch me in one of two places. So cool to be on YouTube Live. Um, I've been trying to get this situation underway for quite some time. Give me a second here. Okay. You can now check out the warm up on YouTube Live. All right, so that's going to be awesome, man. So what's up, brother? Top of the morning to you as well. Good morning. God bless. Let's see, here's that link. Oops. Thought I had the share link. Bear with me, folks. Got some new shares going on here. New opportunity for Din Din. So I've been wanting to do this. I've been wanting to expand the show to YouTube Live. So I'm going to be cleaning up my YouTube page, and this is where I'll be expanding the show, where folks can not only join from the warm-up page, they can also join on YouTube. And that way I can share my YouTube link to Twitter and continue to expand our reach, right? That's the whole goal. So I just want to say thank you to all of my regular supporters. My Facebook folks, I love you. I'm not going anywhere. My goal is to not leave Facebook and go somewhere else to do the show. My goal is to be able to stay on both Facebook and YouTube. And so I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that so that I am giving out simultaneous live videos to both YouTube, also to Facebook simultaneously. So there might be some other subtle updates coming. I'm thinking about actually moving my Facebook recordings to Zoom. I think I'm moving my Facebook recordings to Zoom. But now that I'm doing YouTube Live, I may just use those to store my content. So, boom. All right. So good. We are all shared up now. I have notified folks about the YouTube link. I've shared out the link for the warm-up page, and so we can get ready to dive in today. Let me go ahead and fix my mic just a bit. On YouTube, it looks a little bit more crazy than it does here on Facebook. So we got some really cool things happening. If you are joining via YouTube, this will be your first time getting a sense of what the warm-up is all about. Our whole goal here is to motivate. Our goal is to win the day. We win the day by winning the morning, right? If we can win the morning, we can win the day. That's the goal. We win the morning, we can win the day. We win the day, we can win the week. If we win the week, we can win the month, right? So on and so forth. We win the month, we win the quarter, we win the year. So this is part of us getting better every day, is trying to figure out how we can wake up on the right side of the bed and get ourselves moving in the right direction. At the warm up, the right direction looks like us focusing on our spiritual health and well-being, our mental health and well-being, our emotional health and well-being, our physical health and well-being, and last but not least, our financial health and well-being. The question is, can we get better in these areas every day? On Tuesdays, which today is Tuesday, June 1st, Tuesdays we focus on mental health. And so no better day than today than to go ahead and expand the show to a new phase and move into YouTube Live. But also, it's the top of the second half of the year, right? We're coming out of the locker room, and I want each and every one of you to feel like and know that you are enough. You are a one-of-a-kind, God-created creature. You are a diamond in the rough. You are a shining star. And so today we are going to focus on the topic that wants to hinder that, right? That wants to get in the way of our growth, and that is negative thinking, negative thoughts, and their impact on the outcomes and the actions and the opportunities presented in our lives. At the warm-up, we start with mirror moments or morning affirmations, right? So we'll read through some affirmations, we'll dive into a few tips, and then I will leave you all with some motivational quotes to send you all on your way. So positive affirmations for mental health, right? Repeat after me. Healing is possible for me. Healing is possible for me. Many of us go through a lot of things in life. Healing is possible for me. Repeat after me. I am enough. I am enough. That is the trademark message of the warm-up. Repeat after me. I can challenge my negative thoughts with positive ones. That hits the nail right on the head for today's topic. I can challenge my negative thoughts with positive ones. Repeat after me. I care for myself daily. I care for myself daily. You only get one body. You only get one mind. You got to take care of yourself. Repeat after me. I have many positive things in my life. I have many positive things in my life. Repeat after me. What's up, Wanda? Good morning. Repeat after me. Better mental health. Better mental health is possible for me. Repeat after me. How I feel matters. Repeat after me. I am more than my trauma. I am more than my trauma. Repeat after me. I am mentally strong. Repeat after me. My feelings are valid. Repeat after me. Reaching out for support shows strength. Repeat after me. I am allowed to have mental health struggles, right? We're all human. We're all normal. Mental health isn't always operating on 100%. I'm bringing up today's topic because of my own negative self-talk that I got called out on, right? Last but not least for today, we're not going to be too long. I deserve all the happiness in the world. I deserve all the happiness in the world. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what it means to have negative thoughts, right? Researchers at the University College London say they have found repetitive negative thinking is linked to cognitive decline, a higher number of harmful protein deposits in the brain, and consequently a greater risk of dementia, right? It's just one of many negative outcomes of negative thinking. And so I'm going to share a few more. Maybe I can just scare you straight. Negative attitudes and feelings of helplessness and hopelessness can create chronic stress, which upsets the body's hormone balance, depletes the brain chemicals required for happiness, and damages the immune system. Chronic stress can actually decrease our life span. And so then is where you get this information from. The first point of reference was from Healthline. The second point of reference is from Taking Change, umn.edu. Negative thinking, last but not least, there's an article about a Huffington Post that says that negative thinking is indeed our enemy. It dampens our enthusiasm and motivation. It contributes to indecision, inertia, procrastination, and outright derailment of our goal-directed actions. Negative thinking contributes to our outright derailment of our goal-directed actions, right? So we all know that typically on Mondays, we set forth different goals for ourselves, right? We set forth a vision for our week, right? We try to dive into strengthening ourselves spiritually, being prayed up, and then working towards some goal-directed actions. It says right here that negative thinking, our enemy, can be an outright derailment of our goal-directed actions. So you have these goals, you have these directives, they are actionable, they are positive, but once that negative thinking creeps in, it can be a complete derailment of where you are going, where you are headed, right? So that negative thinking, man, it really, really is setting us up for failure. Che, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining. So there are a lot of things that can lead to negative thinking. You just want to be mindful. You want to be present. You want to be aware of how you are feeling personally, right? There could be anything, a common cold, exhaustion, stress, hunger, sleep deprivation. Allergies can even make you depressed and have negative thoughts. All of these different things can lead to negative thoughts. So it's so important to keep your head on a swivel. Just be mindful of the energies that are coming your way and how you are processing the different events and the causes or outcomes of those events that might surround you. Yes, life can cause a stressful situation. Yes, a cold or a health issue can cause you to feel negative and down, but you don't want to get stuck in those places because of some of the negative outcomes that we already talked about when it comes to negative thinking. At some of the most dangerous points, negative thinking can actually lead to physical depression, right? So this is what we don't want. So I have some basic tips on how you might go about dealing with negative thinking, right? There are a lot of different things you can do. Excuse me. There are a lot of different things you can do. And I'm going to do some of those things from a variety of sources. The first thing you might want to try to do is learn how to stop thinking negatively. Learn how to stop thinking negatively. What's going on, cuz? Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. What's going on, Sheila? Thanks for joining. I appreciate you. God bless. Love y'all, man. Learn how to stop thinking negatively. One of the basic parts of maybe like a treatment plan that cognitive behavioral therapy, right? This process helps you identify and change negative thoughts. So you all may want to look into CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy into more helpful adaptive responses. The process of CBT helps you identify and change negative thoughts into more helpful and adaptive responses. You all can look it up for yourselves. Cognitive behavioral therapy, whether it's done in therapy or on your own. I know some folks get therapy, no, or it can be done on your own. Cognitive restructuring involves a step-by-step process whereby negative thoughts are identified, evaluated for accuracy, and then replaced, right? So it requires you to be extremely present, extremely self-reflective and self-aware, but look into cognitive behavioral therapy, and you can do it by yourself with a little bit of research, a little bit of reading. You'll be in a good space. Although it is difficult to think with this new style at first, over time and with practice, positive and rational thoughts will come more naturally. Another thing for another tip to help overcome negative thinking is to practice coping with criticism. Practice coping with criticism. Many of us are going to be criticized in life, right? You go to work, your boss is going to criticize you. You have family members that are going to criticize you. You have your spouse or your loved ones that are going to expect more of you. So sometimes it's helpful. In addition to cognitive restructuring, another aspect of CBT that is sometimes helpful involves something known as assertive defense of the self. Assertive defense of the self. Since it is possible that some of the time people will actually be critical and judgmental towards you, it is important that you are able to cope with rejection and criticism. It is important that you are able to cope with rejection and criticism. Catherine, what's going on? Thanks for joining, sis. Appreciate you. Negative thinking can equal negative results. So we got to be mindful to catch this thing as it is in process. So many of us are going to be rejected at times. Many of us are going to deal with criticism at times. I have a whole episode, I think it's called Who Cares What They Think? Who cares what they think? I have to go back and find it. But essentially, learning how to cope and deal with rejection and criticism is going to be key. It's going to be core to you maintaining a healthy, positive thoughts about yourself and the world around you. This process is usually conducted in therapy with a pretend conversation between you and maybe your therapist. But this can also be done with a good friend of yours, right? To build up your assertiveness skills and assertive responses to criticism, these skills are transferred to the real world through like homework assignments. Look into it. Practice mindfulness is one of my favorite topics. We talk about it every Tuesday almost, because mindfulness is a part of like almost any mental health relief conversation. Mindfulness has its roots in meditation. It is the practice of detaching yourself from your thoughts and emotions and viewing them as an outside observer. So if you were giving you advice, right? If you were your own best friend, if you were your own therapist, taking that outward view of yourself, right? Meditating on your own behaviors, on your own thought processes. During mindfulness training, you will learn how to view your thoughts and feelings as objects floating past you, so that you can stop and observe and let them pass you by. The objective of mindfulness is to gain control over your emotional reactions to situations by allowing the thinking part of your brain to take over. See, if you let the negative thoughts take over, your emotional response is going to become a depressive state. If you allow the thinking part to take over, the positive thoughts to roll in, you can prevent the negative emotional reactions that are sure to come. I'm telling you all of the pillars are connected, right? What you lack spiritually is going to impact what happens mentally. What you lack mentally is going to impact what happens emotionally. What you lack in emotion is going to in turn into deficits in physical actions and physical behaviors. What you lack physically in motivation and determination and drive is going to ultimately impact your pathway to success, your financial capacity. All of these things are linked. They work together, from spiritual growth and happiness to mental growth and positive thinking to emotional growth and emotional responses and outcomes to how we show up physically, which ultimately impacts how we are are valued in society and rewarded financially, right? Our spiritual, mental, and emotional states will have a physical consequence. And so by the time we talk about our physical behaviors on Thursday, right, we should be in a space that allows us to be so in love with ourselves that we then want to remind ourselves to not only be in love with our spiritual state, not only be in love with our mental state, not only be in love with our emotional state, but you're so in love with yourself when you look in the mirror on Thursday, you say, my God, it's time for me to re-groom myself. It's time for me to go ahead and make sure that my dress stays tight. It's time for me to go ahead and make sure that I'm physically continuing to keep up this track of self-love. All of these things work for the greater good. Let me see, I have a few more thoughts here, a few more tips here on positive thinking. These are 5 quick tips on positive thinking or how to stop negative thinking. Number 1 says, remove should thoughts. Remove should thoughts. I should. Possibly I should. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. Remove those should thoughts and move those into I can, I will, I plan to. Recognize automatic negative thinking. And the conversation I had to make this self-reflective, I had a conversation this weekend about financial literacy. And I was talking to my mom actually about the NAACP in her region. They're going to put together this financial literacy course. And we were going through all of the different elements of financial literacy. And we began to talk about home ownership, right? And I noticed that I got triggered when we mentioned home ownership because I don't have the most positive thoughts around home ownership. In fact, I think a lot of my thoughts might be leaning towards negativity, and they shouldn't be, right? They shouldn't be. And me and my mother had a long talk around my negativity and my negative thoughts towards home ownership, and at the end of the day, I was just wrong, right? Like she was simply just calling me out and letting me know that if I'm going to have negative thoughts, I'm not ever going to have a negative experience when it comes to, I'm never going to have a positive experience when it comes to home ownership. So you have to recognize automatic negative thinking and remind yourself, train yourself to get out of those habits. Number 3 says putting your thoughts on trial, right? So that's where the mindfulness comes in, being critical of your own thoughts. Acknowledge how overwhelmed you feel when that negativity starts to weigh on you. Acknowledge how overwhelmed you feel when you allow those negative thoughts to take hold. And number 5 here, it says don't force positive thoughts. Don't force positive thoughts. You really want to get into a place where you're setting yourself up to let the positivity creep in, right? So you're not fake, right? You're addressing the negative on the front end. And that will create opportunities for you to allow the positive thoughts in. A few more here, and I'm gonna let you all go because in fact, I'm gonna move to I got a few quotes here. This quote says, we don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. This quote says, having a positive mental attitude is asking how something can be done rather than saying it can't be done. What's going on, bro? This quote says, it's better to be an optimist who is sometimes wrong than a pessimist who is always right. What a quote. It's better to be an optimist who is sometimes wrong than a pessimist who is always right. Amen. I love that. A few more quotes for you all today. Your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positive thoughts, you will live. Your life will start to change. Let me say that one again. Your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change. Excuse me. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. I like it. I like it. I like it. This quote says, keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see a shadow. Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see a shadow. I love it. This quote says, difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. Don't quit. Don't quit. As we move to this journey of being in a positive space, positive thinking, I'm going to leave you all with these 7 things. 7 things to keep in mind. The past can't be changed. Number 2, you only fail if you quit. Number 3, sometimes no means not right now. Number 4, their opinions don't define your reality. Their opinions don't define your reality. Number 5, happiness is found within you. Happiness is found within you. Number 6, doors close so better ones can open. Doors close so better ones can open. Last but not least, number 7, be proud to be yourself. Be proud to be yourself. Last but not least on the day, all you can change is yourself. But sometimes that changes everything. All you can change is yourself, and sometimes that changes everything. God bless, God bless, God bless. You all be awesome. You all be great. YouTube, my first YouTube live. I'm going to continue to go YouTube live and improve that process. So to my YouTube folks, thank you for joining me. We were a little long-winded today. It's all good. God bless y'all. Remember to keep all of the pillars on your mind at all times. Stay focused spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. Let's get better today. You all be awesome. Please share. Please share. Please donate. Please just tell more people about the show. But most importantly, take care of yourselves. Love yourselves. God bless. God bless. God bless. I'm out. Later. Okay, team. Good morning. Good morning. God bless. It's a new day ahead of us. So excited to be kicking it with you all this morning. We are doing some different things today. We are on YouTube Live. So for those of you who are normally used to watching me on Facebook, you can also find me on